This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 2050, My Experience with Mental Health, Anxiety, by Kylee Lessard of ablueskymind.com. And I'm Justin Malik, the guy that simply reads to you every single day of the year, covering living a meaningful life, self-help, productivity, motivation, happiness, inspiration, and more. And with that, let's get right to it and start optimizing your life. My Experience with Mental Health, Anxiety, by Kylee Lessard of ablueskymind.com. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, so each week I'm diving into a different mental health topic that I'm intimately familiar with, starting with anxiety. Anxiety by the numbers. Let's start by painting a picture of the issue in America with data from the Anxiety and Depression Association of America. Number one, anxiety disorders are the most common mental illness in the U.S., affecting 40 million adults, 18% of the population every year. Number two, anxiety develops from a complex set of risk factors, including genetics, brain chemistry, personality, and life events. Number three, it's often linked with depression. Nearly 1/2 of those diagnosed with depression are also diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. And number four, anxiety disorders are highly treatable, yet only 37% of those suffering receive treatment. The too long didn't read version, it's a big but blessedly treatable problem in our country. My experience with anxiety. I've experienced heart-racing, stomach-clenching anxiety before I knew there was a word for it. As a child, I slept with dream catchers above my bed and worry dolls under my pillows to ease the nightmares that plagued me. I feared kidnapping as a child, assault as a teen, and now natural disasters as an adult. I've learned to name this existential anxiety. I've also experienced what I've come to term relational anxiety, primarily in close friendship, romantic relationships, usually the ones that don't work out, and in the workplace. As I've gotten older, I've learned that close family members have also had near-death experiences with debilitating anxiety. I've also been prescribed anti-anxiety medication that I proudly carry with me and take as needed, while continuing to practice self-soothing techniques as a primary defense. I try my best to be open about how much therapy has helped me in this area as a further effort to destigmatize both the experience and the treatment. What I learned from a Buddhist nun on managing anxiety. When Things Fall Apart, Heart Advice for Hard Times is the single most important spiritual text I've read to date. Shipped to me in the middle of a life crisis by one of my dearest friends, I've returned to the words in this book for every crisis thereafter. It's especially useful when your specific crisis involves intense anxiety, so if you're someone who regularly suffers, it might be one to pick up. Here are the 8 main takeaways for me. Number one, accept non-permanence and change. Security is an illusion. Number two, relax into groundlessness. Give up hope of getting solid ground under your feet. Number three, suffering is normal and okay. It doesn't mean something is wrong, it just is. Number four, you are fundamentally alone. That is not a problem. Number five, exposing yourself to annihilation builds resilience. Number six, have fearless compassion for yourself and others. Number seven, open to your thoughts and emotions. Don't close. Notice opinions. Let them go. And number 8, relax and lighten up. Give yourself a break. My tips for managing situational anxiety. I'd love to tell you that I successfully meditate or employ breath work to get through my situational anxiety, but I seem to actually get more in my head that way. Tyler has had powerful success with mindfulness, meditation, and visualizations, etc., while going through a period of anxiety, so definitely don't knock it as an option. It just hasn't been my bag. Of course, I try to breathe, be here now, and not somewhere in the regretful past or scary future. From there, I try to utilize the following strategies. Number one, write it out. Get all feelings on paper. Investigate with curiosity and kindness. Number two, indulge in the worst case scenario dispassionately. What resources do you have to recover? Example, your family, skill set, health. Number three, favor the most likely outcome. Outcomes are usually somewhere between best case and worst case. Plan to land in the middle. Number four, keep in mind the average attention span. Even if you fail, it will quickly fade from memory. Number 5, talk to yourself. Repeat the words, I love you and I forgive you no matter what happens. You're allowed to make mistakes. And mean it. Number 6, reach out. Apologize if you need to. Call your mom or best friend for an anxiety reality check. And number 7, move on. Put on some music, take a shower, go for a walk, say yes to an invite. Remind yourself that life goes on. Why I share about my anxiety. I share for no other reason than to let you know that you are not alone in what you carry, to grow empathy for what this condition feels like, and to encourage you to dig more into what positive psychology can teach you about managing your mental health. It's been a godsend for me and what makes me so passionate about the space. Sending you all the peace and self-compassion you need to get through your next anxious spell. You just listened to the post titled, My Experience with Mental Health, Anxiety by Kylee Lessard of ablueskymind.com. And now, are your home and auto policies almost up for renewal? Let Policygenius look for a lower rate for you. Policygenius makes it easy to compare home and auto insurance in one place. They can help you find home and auto coverage similar to what you have now, but at a lower price. They've saved customers an average of $1,250 per year over what they were paying for home and auto insurance. And their team will handle the paperwork to set up your new policy or switch over your current one. It's super easy. Head to policygenius.com and answer a few quick questions about yourself and your property. Then Policygenius takes it from there. They'll compare rates from America's top insurers from Progressive to Allstate to find your lowest quotes. The Policygenius team can look for ways to save you more, including bundling your home and auto policies. If they find a better rate than what you're paying now, they'll switch you over for free. Their top-notch service has earned Policygenius thousands of 5-star reviews across Trustpilot and Google. Head to policygenius.com to get started right now. Policygenius. When it comes to insurance, it's nice to get it right. Thank you to Kylee. I can definitely relate to this. And as with her experience, for me, I'm sort of the same, where being a little too present in anxious situations can make it worse for me, whereas a little bit of distraction sometimes helps more. So that's why we need to experiment with different ideas so that we can really discover what works best for us. But I want to mention that book again that she recommended, not because I've personally read it, but because I've seen the author speak in person. That's Pema Chodron. And that book specifically has been recommended multiple times and by people I even know personally. So it's probably worth checking out. It's called When Things Fall Apart by Pema Chodron. Supposedly a great read when going through tougher times. And of course, this podcast is always available. It can hopefully help you through hard times as well. So thanks for listening and being here every day. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Friday show, where your optimal life awaits.